right now on 5 on your side at 10.
Brief break. The overnight hours are quiet, but rounds of strong to severe storms return Wednesday. We're tracking the threats those storms bring and how they move through your neighborhood.
Tomorrow's tornado threat stirring up emotions of past storms.
Every time you hear the siren or you hear that it's coming, I go back to that night.
The mother turning her fear and grief into change. Two 16-year-olds accused in a burglary spree and firing shots at police. Tonight, the efforts to change the tide in a teen crime wave. We start tonight in storm alert. It is all calm right now for most of the bi-state after early morning storms spawned tornadoes, and tomorrow will bring even more turbulence in the atmosphere. We're talking about the chance for damaging winds, hail, and more tornadoes. Good evening, everyone. I'm Kelly Jackson.
And I'm Mike Bush. We're in enhanced risk for impactful severe weather tomorrow, and it could come in a couple of rounds. Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell is tracking the development and timing in our Weather First forecast.
You know, this morning when we were tracking those thunderstorms, it was basically one big line of thunderstorms that came through, did what it was going to do, and then moved out. As we go into tomorrow, it's more of waves of thunderstorms. Quiet out there right now. Here's a look out at Lambert. Yeah, there's some aircraft that aren't at the gate right now that normally would be. Keep in mind, if you're flying the next couple of days, we're not alone in our severe weather woes, and that means there's a lot of flight delays and a lot of travel delays. Wednesday is a storm alert day. We're talking about waves and numerous thunderstorms across the region, some strong to severe. The timing on this, 11 until 9, 11 in the morning until 9 at night. That's a pretty long window of opportunity here, with the threats being gusty winds, 60 to 70 miles per hour, large hail, perhaps larger than golf balls, and then maybe some tornadoes as well. Tonight, the tornadoes have all been off to our east. Lots of tornado warnings, several of them through Ohio, Indiana, even in the Louisville area. Back to the west, things are fairly quiet right now, and will stay quiet overnight. As we head into tomorrow, though, thunderstorms develop during the morning over mid-Missouri, move towards the St. Louis area. Through the day, we'll have a few waves of these showers and thunderstorms. Some of the storms will produce severe weather across our region. So here's the lowdown. The stormy pattern continues through Wednesday. It is quiet overnight, so get a good night's sleep tonight, but be prepared walking out the door tomorrow morning to face a couple of rounds of storms. The first one around lunchtime, the second most likely late afternoon, early evening. We're talking 4, 5, 6 o'clock in St. Louis, and the potential for these to be more intense and more widespread than what we have seen. Kelly?
All right, Scott. And tonight, the National Weather Service confirms 3 tornadoes hit Franklin and Crawford counties early this morning.
This includes an EF1 tornado that destroyed a bar in Sullivan. The twister, with winds of 100 miles per hour, hit one more pub and grub around 4 this morning. There were no reports of injuries. The tornado also caused some damage at nearby Sullivan High School. Students did show up today as usual.
And before getting to the bi-state, that same storm system caused widespread damage in Joplin. The National Weather Service confirms an EF1 tornado caused damage to several homes and businesses late last night. The storm also caused several gas line breaks. So far, there have been no reports of any serious injuries.
It's been 2.5 years since an EF3 tornado hit an Amazon warehouse in Edwardsville, killing 6 people. Tonight, with the threat for more tornadoes in our area in a matter of hours, families who have been impacted by storms are concerned.
And Laura Barczewski continues our Storm Alert team coverage. She spoke with the task force aimed at improving workplace disaster safety in Illinois.
Mike and Kelly, the Warehouse Safety Standards Task Force says they've been making a lot of progress in hopes of making some big changes. But what won't change for one family is the fear that builds every time severe weather hits.
Every time you hear the siren or you hear that it's coming, I go back to that night.
Carla Cope says she had her son Clay when she was 29 years old on a Friday in December. He was taken from this world at the same age on a different Friday in December when an EF3 tornado ripped through the Edwardsville Amazon warehouse where he worked.
When we got the OSHA report back from 2.5 years ago, they met all the minimum requirements. So 6 people that lost their lives, minimum requirements are not enough.
She's now part of the state task force with Representative Katie Stewart. They've been working to change building requirements and protocols one meeting at a time ever since the tragedy.
We're hoping that maybe that can have an impact too, that it can change the way they're building these buildings on top of trying to put in the protections and the requirements to make them safe.
In addition to recommendations for new buildings, the task force is also exploring how those currently standing can meet the same safety requirements. Stewart says that warehouse, even though it's been rebuilt, has been practically empty ever since.
It's not a massive expense to get it up to what might be a new code that we put in place. So there would be ways to retrofit, existing ones and put the safe locations in there.
Cope says she wants everyone to be more aware during tornado watches and go over safety plans at work and at home as these storms only grow more severe year after year.
I know as a kid, we didn't take it seriously. I mean, a lot of times if there was a tornado coming, we ran outside to see it. We never really expected it to hit anything or hurt anyone. But I think that they need to be feared more now than they ever were.
An Amazon spokesperson tells us they do intend to reopen that warehouse, saying, quote, "We have comprehensive emergency preparedness protocols and safety measures in place and continuously review them for opportunities to improve." The task force hopes to present their recommendations to the state legislature by the beginning of next year at the latest. Reporting live in St. Louis, Laura Barcheski, 5 on your side.
And you'll want to make sure you're getting the proper warnings tomorrow. The Weather First team will guide you through the storm threat with updates on air, online at KSDK.com, and the 5 on Your Side app. Our meteorologist will also be streaming on 5+. You can also text the word weather to 314-425-5355, and we'll send you the very latest forecast to your phone.
New tonight, 2 people are dead after a deadly crash in Chesterfield. The 2-car wreck shut down South Woods Mill Road near Brooking Park Drive for several hours this afternoon. We're told a man and a woman in each car were killed. Their identities have not yet been released. The cause of this crash remains under investigation.
Tonight, St. Louis police are investigating a deadly hit-and-run crash. It happened at around 5 tonight on Chippewa, just east of South Kings Highway. 5 on Your Side's Brent Solomon is live near the scene.
Yeah, we learned within just the past 15 minutes that male pedestrian lost his life right here where I'm standing. In fact, people who live in this neighborhood tell me they are saddened but not surprised. That's because, as you can see, traffic here flows on Chippewa all day long. There is a crosswalk where the road intersects with Ridgewood Avenue. And neighbors tell me they want drivers to be more mindful of pedestrians. Let's go ahead and take you right to that crime scene. It was around 5 this afternoon. Our cameras rolling here on Chippewa, not far from Kings Highway in South City. I can tell you that pedestrian was a man. We don't know his age or his identity. Police tell us that person was just trying to cross the street when the driver struck him and decided to keep going. Tonight, I caught up with a neighbor who lives near the scene. She's not only reacting to the news of this fatal crash, she also wanted me to know what traffic is like usually on this busy stretch of road.
Crazy, and all night all you hear are sirens. So it's like police, fire, ambulance, all day, every day. Yeah. That's horrific. They didn't stop for the person, didn't care to see if the person was okay, and they just kept going. That could have been one of our family members.
All right, let's take you back alive now. You can see that this section of Chippewa is a community that is a mix of homes and businesses. As police work to identify the driver and the car that the person was in, we'll await word on whether there are any security cameras in this area that may have captured a clue that will help find that hit-and-run driver tonight. We'll keep you posted. Live in South City, Brent Solomon, 5 on Your Side.
We have learned a woman killed in a crash in Kirkwood was an assistant principal at Confluence Academy in South City. The school posted a video tribute to Sarah Howell on its Facebook page today. The 45-year-old was killed Saturday night when a car crashed into her car at the intersection of Geyer and Big Bend Roads. No one else was hurt. St. Louis County plans to make several improvements to that intersection to make it safer. Tonight, two boys, just 16-year-olds, are in custody, accused in a crime spree and firing gunshots at St. Louis County police officers.
Our Robert Townsend is here with new information on last night's chaotic scene in a North City neighborhood. Robert.
Mike and Kelly, the ongoing teen crime wave in St. Louis is not letting up. Investigators say this latest incident happened in the city, but county police were tracking a stolen car when they say the two teens opened fire on them. 1 minute Ruby Kiefler says she was sitting on her porch, but then out of the blue,
the police is flying up and down the street.
She saw St. Louis County and city police officers descend on her neighborhood.
Then my hubby came out and he heard gunshots.
Investigators say around 5 Monday afternoon, county police were tracking this stolen Audi.
Believed to be used in several car break-ins and potentially business burglaries in St. Louis County.
Investigators tell us initially the driver wouldn't stop.
The vehicle fled. They initiated a pursuit. The vehicle was spiked, stopped here at this location.
In a neighbor's yard near Acme and Lena Avenues, police say during the pursuit, at least one St. Louis County police officer and two 16-year-olds exchanged gunshots. Officers quickly arrested one of the boys at the scene. They caught the other teen a few blocks away.
No officers, no individuals were injured.
I'm glad they're not hurt, to tell you the truth. It's just ridiculous.
I'm stunned by it, and I think that those are violent offenses and those individuals need to be confined.
Longtime criminal defense attorney Gerald Christmas represents minors and adults.
You have to take them off the street because you have to sit them down for a minute and make them understand the serious nature of the crime, and then we have to start figuring out what we need to do to work with them in order to make them better citizens.
Meanwhile, Joel Currier, a spokesman for the 22nd Judicial Court, says, among other things, the Juvenile Division's many intensive programs are designed to enhance community safety, provide youth with counseling and or treatment as needed, and encourage personal development. Police say they also recovered several guns after arresting those two teens.
It's the latest crumble in St. Louis's water woes. Tonight, an I-Team exclusive uncovers the 19th century cause.
Is our city's water infrastructure falling apart?
No, I would not say that. It has a lot of challenges, but it's not falling apart.
The faucet of funding the city is waiting on to fix a citywide problem. Breadco squeezing out a controversial menu item. The lemonade putting the St. Louis company in legal limbo.
This storm system may supercharge some of the thunderstorms across our area Wednesday, and that includes another tornado threat. The storm timeline for tomorrow and the improvements coming just in time for Mother's Day.
Just hours ago, a public hearing was held at St. Louis City Hall to discuss fixing the city's aging water infrastructure.
It's the top priority in a community survey on how to best spend the $280 million in RAM settlement money. The city has been plagued with numerous water main breaks. One community member is calling for the city to install water meters in all homes to make billing more fair.
I got a little jingle. I've been sitting around thinking about my water bill. It's such a bitter pill since it's based upon the size of the crib.
Director of Public Utilities Kurt Scooby said the city already provides water meters for free, but the homeowner must pay for the costly installation. He also warned choosing this option over a flat monthly rate could lead to unexpected high bills due to water leaks in the home.
We're digging deeper tonight into the aftermath of a major water main break in North St. Louis. The I-Team has obtained exclusive photos of what caused an intersection to flood last week. Tonight, senior investigative reporter Paula Vassan is pressing city officials for answers on preventing further infrastructure failures.
Just days ago, a water main break wreaked havoc at the intersection of Penrose Street and Blair Avenue, submerging the area, with the intersection still closed off.
Yikes.
It's an inconvenience for people like Robbie Owens, a delivery driver.
I actually had to get out of the car and walk to the customer's home.
The problem stems from what's about 10 feet underground.
This is the old water pipe crews removed from the late 1800s. And check this out. This is the new one they're putting into that hole in the ground over there. The hope, it'll last a lot longer.
What questions do you have for the city?
how much of this exists, how many more opportunities or circumstances like this could appear.
So the I-Team pressed the city's Kurt Scobie for answers.
They're connected here.
He showed us exactly what went wrong. This is the nearly 130-year-old valve that stopped working. It controlled the flow of water.
Is our city's water infrastructure falling apart?
No, I would not say that. It has a lot of challenges, but it's not falling apart.
There have been 146 water main breaks citywide so far this year, in line with previous years. It's an imperfect and unpredictable system.
We will replace when we have the funds to replace them.
How much money do you need?
Probably in the hundreds of millions of dollars over the next 20 years.
Money that'll come mostly from the city, state, and residents paying 40% more for water. Owens has faith.
It's a great opportunity for St. Louis City Water to shine.
Despite the obstacles. For the I-Team, Paula Vasan, 5 on your side.
Tonight, St. Louis-based Panera Bread is preparing to phase out its charged lemonade drinks amid 2 wrongful death lawsuits. Those lawsuits, filed by the families of a Florida man and a college student in Pennsylvania, claim they suffered cardiac arrest after consuming the highly caffeinated drinks. A third lawsuit was filed claiming a woman suffered permanent cardiac injuries. A large drink contains as much caffeine as 6 shots of espresso. Panera says the move is based on customer feedback.
Today was Teacher Appreciation Day, and the Show Me State is showing its appreciation by showing Missouri teachers the money. Today, Governor Mike Parsons signed 2 education bills into law. They raise the minimum wage for teachers from $25,000 to $40,000 per year. The bills also increase funding to early childhood education. It expands access to private schools and incentivizes 5-day school weeks.
We are in a storm alert tonight because of the enhanced risk of storms tomorrow. Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell is back with a look at our
no problems tonight. If you were going over to Stevie Nicks at the Enterprise Center or one of the fans, you probably have, Cardinals have some issues there. So you might have some issues with baseball, but not with the weather. Not in St. Louis tonight. Tomorrow, different story. Thunderstorms going to be more widespread, and they weren't that far away from us today. In fact, if you were over in Flora, you heard some thunder. It wasn't too far that you had to go to run into a downpour south of town, but all of that sliding off to the east now and well to the south of St. Louis. So we're quiet for the rest of the night, and even these storms will start to settle down somewhat. Our attention's turning back to the west. There is more energy back here swinging over the Rockies into the plains. This is going to become our next weather maker as we go into tomorrow, as this storm system swings in, grabs some more Gulf of Mexico moisture, pulls the warm air to the north, and brings us into that level 3 out of 5 risk for severe weather tomorrow for most of the area. It looks like the focus is really going to be from about St. Louis onto the south. Some of what we're looking at tonight would tend to put it along Interstate 70 into the south. But again, we know the ingredients are very close to all being coalesced in just the right way to create those strong winds, the large hail, and the potential for tornadoes. The question is, how will they interact with individual storms? We do think the chances ramp up towards lunchtime and right after for St. Louis. And then again during the evening rush hour, early evening, that would be in that 5 to 7 o'clock time frame. So Futurecast times it out for us pretty well. Again, this is just a serving suggestion, one of many models simulating the radar and what it will look like tomorrow at 10 o'clock as storms push in along the Missouri River from the west and approach the metro as we head towards lunchtime, then spread in and spread out off to the east of St. Louis into the afternoon with additional development from 3 to 5 o'clock off to the west and south of St. Louis. Here's our concern for late in the afternoon into the evening. It really looks like the areas farther south of St. Louis may be in line for some of the strongest of the storms. So the storms will be much more numerous tomorrow. In terms of coverage, we expect most of us to get at least some rain, 11 a.m. until 9 p.m., giving it a broad brush threat there for the strong winds, large hail, and maybe a strong long track tornado or two as well. Something we'll be watching and tracking from the Weather First Weather Center all day tomorrow. 74 now, 86 was our high today, 64 was a low this morning, and yes, most of us picked up some rain early on this morning. Once we get past tomorrow's storm alert, we have some good news. Look, Mother's Day weekend is this weekend, and it looks like it could very well be. I don't want to jinx it because, you know, it is St. Louis weather. But honestly, this weekend looks like it's really going to be nice for Mother's Day, and we need a stretch to not only dry out, but just to ease all the anxiety from all of these storms.
Severe weather fatigue for
sure. Sure is, yeah.
All right, Scott, thanks. Sports is next with Frank.
Mike, if you didn't think it could get worse for the Cardinals, you were wrong. The Blues have hired a coach, and Caitlin Clark's impact is really felt now in the WNBA.
This 5 on Your Side Sports Report is sponsored by Telly Tire and Auto Centers, driving your way since 1942.
I don't recommend anybody in the Cardinal organization buying a lottery ticket. They are not winning anything. In fact, if it wasn't for bad luck, they wouldn't have any luck at all. Another brutal night at Busch with the Mets in town. Brendan Donovan led off the game, though, with his 407-foot shot, his 4th homer, and it's 1-0 Cardinals. Same inning, Alec Burleson, who had 3 hits tonight, rips one to right, 3-0 Cardinals, as Wilson Contreras will score. But in the top of the second, the worst thing possible, J.D. Martinez accidentally hits Contreras right in the forearm. He was writhing in pain. It's a fractured left forearm. Their best everyday player is out, likely for 6 to 8 weeks. In the 5th, the Mets pounded Miles Michaelis, Brandon Nimmo, 3-run blast, and later Pete Alonso cleared the bases here. Mets win final 7-5. A GM once told me, it doesn't matter if you win the press conference. It's about hiring the right guy. And the Blues did not sell any tickets today by hiring soft-spoken Drew Bannister as their head coach. But he's probably the right guy for the job. It's a 2-year contract for the 50-year-old head coach. After taking over for Craig Berube in December, Bannister was 30-19-5. Besides the record, the move was about continuity and chemistry.
He has worked with some of our younger players. Now he's working with some of our veteran players. I think it just builds, just adds another layer to what we've been doing, and I think that's going to be positive.
You know, the process moving forward, we're going to continue to build on it. I'm excited about the process. I believe in what we're doing, and I believe in the group that we have, and we're going to continue, and building on that here in the future.
The NHL draft lottery was tonight. The Blues had a 0.5% chance of jumping 10 spots from number 16, but wound up 16th. The top pick overall goes to San Jose, and they're expected to take forward Malcolm Celebrini from Boston University. Hall of Famer Paul Pierce in Boston for Game 1 for the Celtics and Cavs, and a lot of people think Jason Tatum has some similarities. Look at this move right there. Tatum had 18 points tonight, and Boston wins it 120-95. Gotta be the most hype spring football game ever. There won't be a parade or a dance, but there will be a homecoming for Battlehawks quarterback A.J. McCarron on Saturday. That's when the former Crimson Tider will hit the field against the unbeaten Birmingham Stallions. The Stallions are coached by Skip Holtz, the son of former Notre Dame head coach Lou Holtz. They lead the league in total defense, trail only the Battlehawks in scoring defense. Birmingham and St. Louis also rank 1-2 in points scored. They scrimmage in the spring, and both sides are ready to get it on.
From a talent standpoint and a statistical standpoint, this has got the makings to be a great game. I'm just glad we have the chance to play in Birmingham.
The talent we have as a team, you could say the same going against, for them. So we're excited about the challenge and, have a chance to go out and compete and then see what happens.
The Caitlin Clark era and the WNBA took another step forward when the league announced their teams will fly by charter to all games beginning this season. It's expected to be a $25 million expense each year. And believe me, every one of those players in the WNBA should send a thank you note to Caitlin. They've been trying to get this for years. Caitlin shows up, we're going to go charter.
Finally.
Yes.
They deserve it. All right, thanks, Frank. Well, tomorrow is a day to be weather aware. Scott will update us on the threat of strong storms.
All right, Scott's here with one last look on our storm alert for tomorrow.
Yeah, the storm alert's going to be in effect during the daytime hours. So first thing out the morning, you're in pretty good shape tomorrow, but then we're going to bring in that chance for storms about 11, 12 o'clock west of St. Louis. After 12 o'clock in the metro area, you have gusty winds to go along with that. And then the most widespread storm coverage is going to be from 3 o'clock until about 7 o'clock. Then it starts to ease up and push away. And as we head into the upcoming weekend, the anticipation is we get to dry out for a change and settle down.
So it's really 2 rounds.
We think it's 2 rounds, multiple storms tomorrow.
Right.
It's going to be a
Scott?
busy day. And an important reminder, you can get the latest weather first forecast anytime on KSDK.com, on the 5 on Your Side app, and streaming on 5+. You can also text the word weather to 314-425-5355. We'll send it to your phone.
And meteorologist Anthony Slaughter will have the latest on the timing of those storms on Today in St. Louis beginning at 4 a.m. There you have it, 5 on Your Side at 10. The Tonight Show is next.